and a very welcome to Revved Up for this very week. Now, one of the most serene places to be at anywhere in Kampala is the golf course here at the Lake Victoria Serena Hotel, and it's exactly what we've decided to do today and bring a very practical car to you as well. Most of you guys will love the truck we'll bring up on the show later on, because if you're one of those who are into agriculture or loves going to places that have maybe some very bad roads, this is the car you need. On the show tonight as well, we make sure you keep very, very safe. So we have some safety tips for you. We get very interactive with you guys on our social media, and more interestingly, we take you to the future. So welcome aboard as we enjoy these beautiful spaces. Let's get you at the most beautiful show in the country. My name is Andrew Kabura, and this is Revved Up.
On this edition of Revved Up, Road Review, brought to you by NC Bank. When it comes to pickup trucks, the variety of choice these days is endless. Everyone knows that a good pickup truck should have workhorse power, durability, and off-road capabilities. What Nissan have done, however, is create a pickup truck that is unique because it is designed specifically for Africa. The Nissan Hardbody. Not only does it have all of the qualities mentioned earlier, but it also has the ability to take on even the most rugged of African roads with ease. As the name suggests, the Hardbody is exceptionally durable and has an outer coating that can withstand the wear and tear of any terrain, as well as having paintwork that is resistant to chips and scratches.
All right, over the years, car lovers, specifically the truck lovers, have had an experience with different trucks. Now, some of those have been enjoying the Nissan trucks. There's been an improvement from year after year when it comes down to Nissan. The latest being the NP300 Hardbody. That's the one right behind me. It's got turbo in there. It's got a 2.5-liter diesel engine. And if you're talking about its brake horsepower, you've got to hit triple figures, 104. Now, Nissan say this is one of their last editions, because they're going to move on from the NP300 Hardbody and go to the NP300 Navara. But right before they move on, as at Revved Up has got first of all talk about it. So let's get into closer details when it comes down to this pickup. And then later on in the show, show you how good it is on good and bad roads, because they insist, and they have written this all over the place. They insist it is meant for Africa. This is Uganda. We are in Africa. Let's see how good it is. Before we get on the inside, I decided to let you first of all know this is a high spec. And with the high spec comes a couple of other, beautiful things for it. So I wrote them down on a piece of paper, and I'm going to read them one by one and show you guys what I'm talking about. Now, first of all, with the high spec, the 4-wheel drive is engaged automatically. But here is what they have. They have the roof carriers and side step. These, of course, help you get easily into the car, and you can strap anything at the very top. Since we've said this is pretty much a workhorse, it's supposed to be out there in the farms and do whatever it is you want to do. They have the roll bar, which also comes with safety, and then the over fenders. Everyone has tried to give their own importance to those, but I just think they just make the car look wider and more beautiful. That's what I think. But let's take a look at the inside. All right, so let's take a quick look on the inside. First of all, you realize the dashboard of the NP300 is less cluttered. What Nissan have done is to make sure they give the driver what he needs, all the basics that the driver needs, and that is exactly what they have provided in this very car. And by giving you what you need on the inside and the performance on the outside, it also means they can sell you these cars at the most affordable of prices. But do remember, when you get on the inside, then you realize it's not just a workhorse, because it's got all the other basics that come with, your simple daily leisure car. It's got air conditioning on the inside. It's got a remote keyless entry. It's got power windows, door locks as well, at a very affordable price. So you have a hard worker on the outside and quite a good car on the inside. What Nissan is actually trying to say to you, or what this truck is saying to you, is that tough can be comfortable. All right from the beginning, since we started talking about the NP300 Hardbody, we've been talking about its performance. So what we decided to do on the show tonight is to make sure we take it to the toughest terrain we've taken any car on the show. Just see how good it is. And then later on, have a very special guest who is going to push it on a not so good road. And we also see just how good it is, because Nissan has been talking about performance. How good a performer is the Hardbody? That is still to come tonight.
Car Care, brought to you by Toyota Uganda.
Hello and welcome to this week's Car Care, a segment that we, by the way, take as a beginner's course on Revved, mainly because we talk the basics. We talk about stuff that you think you know or you think you've got covered, but sometimes you just never have it covered, and then it really wastes your car and spoils your entire experience. Welcome to the Toyota Service Center as well, and as always, Fitzum Hailum, who of course is the training manager, has invited us here, and because of that, we've decided to ask him a couple of questions. Fitzum, thank you very much once again for joining us. We received so many emails on our beautiful Talk to Toyota platform, and this one is focusing on the engine, the cooling and the heating system. Maybe I shouldn't jump into the big technical terms and ask you, why sometimes do we have our cars heating up?
Our engine has to operate at a certain temperature, between certain temperature range. Should not be very hot and it should not be very cold for the engine to perform properly. Get the best fuel economy and best performance when the engine is at a certain temperature. And also the amount of heat that is generated in the engine when the fuel is burning is so much that it can start melting some components. So you don't want those components to melt. The cooling system is therefore to keep the engine at a certain temperature. So it has to keep on cooling the engine. Why do our engines heat? Is that your question?
That's a big question.
Exactly. Then there is a problem with the cooling system. It could be your radiator clogged or leaking water, coolant, or it could be your pressure cap, it could be your thermostat, or it could be any other blockage in the system. So if any of those problems come, then the engine will start overheating.
There are so many reasons that you actually could have your engine heating up. So if that happens, and of course you're not a mechanic at home, quickly come to Toyota Uganda so they can easily find out what the problem could be. But we've talked about the heating. Let's talk about the cooling now. There's something called coolant, folks out there, and I've found so many car lovers have different views on how to use it. Some mix coolant with water, some don't mix coolant with water, and some folks think coolant, can just throw coolant out and use water instead, yeah?
It's this coolant that goes in around the engine and takes away the heat from the engine, comes to the radiator and gets cold, and then goes around again and does the same thing, okay? So you need a coolant that is efficiently removing heat from the engine. Water is not the best coolant. Yes, it's a coolant, but it's not the best coolant. The coolant that you have here has anti-rust property and anti-freeze property. So the anti-rust part is very important because your engine will be rusted. The internal components of the engine will be rusted. And then that rusted coolant is circulating and going around the thermostat, going around the coolant pump or water pump and blocking and damaging seals and so on.
But here's a big question though. I've read about this. I never really have had a discussion about it. I've heard about the thermostat being removed, mainly because folks are trying to make sure they deal with issues with engine heating and everything. And the first time I told you about it, you were like, it's probably one of the worst things to do. What's bad about removing your thermostat?
I know some people out there are removing the thermostat. Why did the vehicle manufacturer put a thermostat? First of all, so if you remove the thermostat now, the engine will start running colder.
Yeah.
Because the thermostat is supposed to block the radiator when it is cold and opens the radiator when it is hot. Okay, so it regulates the temperature. So if you remove the thermostat, then most of the time your engine will be running at lower temperature. Especially when you're going on the highway, all the time the coolant will be cooled by the strong wind or air and will keep your engine running at a low temperature. Running at a low temperature is not good either.
So it's true when you remove the thermostat, the engine gets cooler, but it's just not right.
Yeah, it's not right. The engine has to be between 80 degrees centigrade to 100 degrees centigrade. If you remove the thermostat, you're running low.
So
It's like a human being. What's the minimum temperature and what's the maximum temperature for you to function properly? Was it 36 to 38 degrees centigrade? Yes, you ask the doctor. He will tell you if your temperature is below here,
Yeah.
you probably will die.
Your engine is very important to your car. So when it starts heating up, make sure you quickly rush it to Toyota Uganda so they can look at what actually the problem could be and they can sort all that out and don't remove that thermostat. In case you have any other questions, feel very free. Send us an email. We have the experts with us who should help you sort all your problems. t2t@toyota.co.ug. Enjoy the experience. All right, I've got two questions for you. One, did you go to a fuel pump today or are you planning to go to a fuel pump tomorrow? Question two is what kind of fuel did you put in your car? Because you see, fuel is not just about moving from point A to point B. It comes with looking after your engine. It comes with the durability of your engine. It comes with making sure your engine is at its most optimum. So I'm advising you to actually go get yourself Shell V-Power because it's not just the movement you will enjoy. You also prevent build-up and corrosion when it comes down to your engine, which makes you enjoy the experience. So every time you turn up, today or tomorrow, go get yourself some Shell V-Power.
Futuristic vehicles, brought to you by Shell V-Power. Self-driving cars are the new trend in vehicle design, and since nearly every major car brand has jumped aboard the autonomous wagon, it was only a matter of time before Volkswagen joined in. The brand, perhaps most famous for the Beetle and the Volkswagen Golf, has produced the ID, a vehicle set for production in 2020. This electric car is set to make history as well, with an impressive range and attractive price. The autonomous car's white gleaming exterior has most of its gaps covered, giving the impression that the actual vehicle is under a kind of futuristic sheet. The actual shape of the bodywork is much more toned down compared to other electrical concepts which we have seen, and it does seem to be a practical and affordable car. It can reach speeds of 99 miles per hour with an estimated 400 to 600 kilometers of driving on a single charge. It takes 8 seconds to reach from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, but that could be expected from a modest electric vehicle. The white and blue design continues inside the spacious and airy cabin. Like most autonomous cars, this vehicle has the option of manual driving as well. But when the self-driving function is activated, the steering wheel retracts into the dashboard. Volkswagen have been pushing forward with electric vehicles very strongly lately, and this is a good thing for the environment, as the cars they're proposing seem both economical and attainable. The ID is a good example of a compact, all-rounder car that many of us may well be driving in the not-too-distant future.
Now, one of the most beautiful things and this is something I really love about hosting this show, Revved Up, is you get to travel. Yes, you get to travel and have views and sights like these ones. You see the boat, you see a couple of fishermen, you see birds, and then there's a breeze that comes with it, which definitely makes you enjoy your afternoon. The other beautiful thing about hosting Revved Up is I get to tell you about our social media. I get to do that as well. Our Facebook page, that is Revved Up Uganda. Do like the page, send us your reactions to the show, and let's share a couple of ideas. Plus, enjoy the experience that is driving cars in and outside of Kampala. We have a YouTube channel that is Revved Up Uganda, where all our episodes are from the very first one. And the good news is we have a website that is www.revvedup.ug, where we share lots and lots of information. So feel free to join us, and as you do that, I will take off some time to enjoy the views one more time.
This powerhouse vehicle has a 4-cylinder diesel engine that produces a healthy 131 brake horsepower and is paired with a 5-speed manual gearbox. Its high ground clearance and exceptional torque makes it capable of conquering the most rugged terrain. The 1,425mm load box is doubly reinforced for extra strength and has a towing capacity of 750 kilograms. The specially designed ladder-type frame and reinforced chassis absorbs impact better and creates a much safer environment for the passengers and driver.
All right, so we've seen what the NP300 Hardbody can actually do on one of the toughest terrains we've used here on Revved Up. Now, we still have another drive. I did promise you we have a special guest on the show tonight, and we have confirmation that he's here. Leon Senyange.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much for coming to us.
It's a pleasure.
It's been a while.
Pleasure.
I used to work with you a couple of years ago, and then you disappeared. Leon Senyange is always in the cockpit. For the last 10 years, he's been a navigator in Raleigh. He's got some accolades in his wardrobe. His wardrobe is what he's here. Best local crew in the 2014 Pearl of Africa Rally. It's crazy that you're into the cockpit and then you're a journalist. Your life is confused, Leon.
Well, it's a cocktail of things, I must say. You probably don't know that I'm even a musician. But no, certainly not. Yeah, but I think just because I'm a sports journalist, then you find that particular sport you get to love. And when you get the opportunity to take part, you actually take part and enjoy it the more. 10
years in the cockpit. Two questions. Why aren't you a driver? And what on earth? Last season we had a moment with Mr. Blick in his car, and I promised never to get into a rally car again. You've gotten into a rally car for 10 years. What inspires you?
Well, I think it's just the need to get there to the finish line, and the need to attack the roads with just that much energy. But it started from watching rally videos, mostly WRC videos, and then doing the video games. So soon after that, of course, you get the opportunity to watch the local events, and you're thinking, I need that opportunity to sit in one of the rally cars.
Rally is beautiful, it's tough, but it's quite scary to some folks. And you've had some scary moments yourself. You've rolled. Leon, he's been in the car and it's rolled.
Twice this year. Twice this year, one in Masaka. The car got caught in the ruts. I was navigating for Sebuguzi.
That was last year, by the way.
And the car got caught in the ruts. And 360 roll. We broke a drive shaft, but managed to drive through. Then another one was in Fort Portal. Right at the finish of the last stage of the rally, we're in second place, and we had closed the gap on Just Mangat a few seconds. And yes, the marshal waved the flag, and I think we carried a lot of power into it and clipped something, and and rolled.
And we are laughing about it.
And the rally ended there. And yes, we smiled about it, but agonizingly. Yeah, because that's when our downfall in the championship race actually started. Everything went on a downward spiral thereafter.
So we brought Leon here to test or do a very quick drive with the NP300 Hardbody. So welcome to our cockpit.
Sure, thanks.
It's going to look quite different.
I hope you'll be calling the pest notes.
No. I'm not getting into there when Leon is driving. You're going to call your own pest notes and you'll be on the other side now of the cockpit. So
Sure.
let's go and see what this is. But what Leon has asked for is he wanted to bring his rally experience for the opening 10 seconds of this drive, and then he can test it later. So we've granted him that permission. Let's first see how good he is with rally.
Sure.
And then
Thank
later
you.
on,
I'm going to knock myself out on this now.
let me just create some space between myself and the track. Leon, I'll see you later.
Absolutely. Well, I must say it's my first time driving an MP300. This kind of model, I've driven the lower version of this, the 3.5 diesel engine car. Of course, one owned by my old man. But this feels pretty different. I like the comfort, spacious as well. Let me try and give this car a bit of a rally car spin and see how it will do. I believe it would do just as good. I know it's going to be a bit bouncy on the road because the terrain itself is not good. Do that again? Yeah?
The Nissan Hardbody inspires confidence because it is designed for our landscape, our roads, and our challenges. It is tough, powerful, and will endure almost any traveling hardship. But it is also classy, comfortable, and appealing. It truly is a pickup truck that embodies the beauty of Africa and is at home in our environment.
All right, I hope you guys have enjoyed the Nissan Hardbody. It's such a very practical pickup. Not super fancy, nothing super luxurious about it, because it's everything to do with work. Take it out there and get your work done. Now, one thing you need to know about Revved Up is we try and get you the best cars from all over the world in beautiful places like these ones. But the second and probably most important thing you need to know about Revved Up is that tonight's episode ends now. So I'm Andrew Kabura, and I'm saying good night.
Next week on Revved Up.